one day somebody does something unspeakable to someone else, to someone you hardly knew, and you do something about it because you can.
This story comes to us from the New York Times. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi suggested last Wednesday that local police could arrest federal agents if they break California law while conducting immigration raids that were expected in the San Francisco Bay Area. With Border Patrol agents due to arrive, Ms. Pelosi issued the stark warning along with Kevin Mullen, a fellow Democratic representative, who represents the small slice of San Francisco that Ms. Pelosi doesn't. Now, President Trump has said several times in recent weeks that he wanted to send federal forces to the city. While the president may enjoy absolute immunity courtesy of his rogue Supreme Court, those who operate under his orders do not, wrote Mullen and Pelosi. They said our state, California, and local authorities may arrest federal agents if they break California law. And if they are convicted, the president cannot pardon them. Now, the Trump administration said last Wednesday that it was sending U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents to Coast Guard Island in Alameda, California, to prepare for an immigration enforcement operation. But President Trump announced on Thursday that he called off the crackdown, at least for now, in San Francisco. That's why I'm getting arrested. Leaders in other Bay Area cities were unsure whether they too would be spared. The idea to arrest and prosecute federal agents appears to have come from Brooke Jenkins, the San Francisco district attorney. Ms. Jenkins said in an interview on Wednesday that she came up with the strategy after seeing federal agents repeatedly roughing up people in Los Angeles and Chicago. She said if federal agents came to her city and did the same, Ms. Jenkins decided she would treat them like anybody else breaking the law and would seek to prosecute them. That's what it should be. Nobody's above the law. Hit people with batons, beat them up, not on her watch, she said. Said, I had lead time to think about what authority I have and what I can do. This is something I felt very strongly about, and I had my office research it. Ms. Jenkins said she had communicated with the San Francisco Police Department about arresting federal agents for clear excessive use of force, and that the agency was on board with the concept. A spokesman for the department did not return a request for comment on Wednesday. Ms. Jenkins said she did not envision police officers handcuffing federal agents in full view on city streets. Instead, she said, local law enforcement could review camera footage of beatings if they occur and try to identify the agent involved. Then she said she would ask a judge to sign a warrant, I'm going to get back to this, for the agent's arrest and seek to prosecute the agent in court. I'm going to get back to all this. She said, for me, this is about San Francisco and what I need to do for San Francisco. That could be much easier said than done. Many federal agents are operating in masks and without badges or other identification. That's what I was going to get back to. A California law barring agents from wearing masks does not take effect until January of this next year, and even then is quite likely to face legal challenges. And the Trump administration could seek immunity for its officers or ignore the warrants altogether, Mrs. Jenkins acknowledged. She said she had not discussed her idea with other prosecutors in California or around the country. Tricia McLaughlin, a spokeswoman for the Department of Homeland Security, responded with incredulity. I can't read. So this politician is threatening to prosecute law enforcement officers for enforcing the laws on the books, she said. No, it's for excessive force, dummy. Ms. Jenkins shared the idea on X earlier this month after Mark Benioff, the chief executive of Salesforce, said he would support President Trump sending National Guard troops to San Francisco. Mr. Benioff later recanted and apologized for his statement on the Guard. The ability of states to arrest federal officers is murky and without much legal precedent, said Erwin Chemerinsky. He's the dean of the University of California, Berkeley's School of Law. Said a state cannot unduly interfere with the ability of a federal agent to enforce federal law, and immigration and customs enforcement agents have the legal right to apprehend individuals suspected of being in the country illegally. But do they have the right to commit assault? He said as long as the ICE agents are acting legally, the state can't prosecute them and hold them liable, even if it dislikes what they're doing. That was Mr. Chemerinsky. But immigration agents who overstep their legal bounds, for instance, that's what we're talking about, by using excessive force or assault, could be sued in California. Said, I think the ICE agents can be sued for battery, for excessive force in state court, and I think they can be similarly prosecuted, said Mr. Chemerinsky. Said, if ICE agents act beyond their legal authority and violate state law in doing so, they can be prosecuted. In their statement, Representatives Pelosi and Mullen made clear that they believed federal immigration agents had overstepped their authority in other situations. Said reports of a planned mass immigration raid in the Bay Area are an appalling abuse of law enforcement power, they wrote. They said broad sweeps that target families and terrorize law-abiding residents betray our nation's values and waste resources that should focus on real threats to public safety. Now, spokespeople for both Democrats declined to further explain how they believed local or state police should arrest federal agents. Representative Sam Liccardo, a Democrat who previously served as the mayor of San Jose, said he had spoken with colleagues and local law enforcement officials about such an action. He said all law enforcement must comply with the Constitution, and to the extent that there's a violation of federal or state constitutional protections or civil liberties, there's certainly a basis for asserting a violation. Now, in other cities where the federal government has escalated immigration enforcement, local authorities have complained that federal agents have bent the law and abused civilians. Representative Ro Khanna, another Bay Area Democrat, has pushed for a requirement that immigration agents wear body cameras and visibly display their names during operations, or at least a badge. The issue is a lot of these ICE agents are harassing American citizens, he said. They're acting in a lawless way. And there you go. They are acting lawless. I mean, I've seen the videos. Seen one in particular. Let me give you an example. A guy was standing there recording. They're walking by, and the one just out of the line walks right up to the camera and shoves the guy and goes, well, he had his mask. He was like, and you hear him kind of going, and he walks off and walks back into the thing. But the guy was on the ground here. He goes back with the camera, and you hear the guy, and he walks back into the thing as the guy's trying to get up with his camera. It's all on video. It's on YouTube. What was that about? I can do what I want. They don't know who I am. You know, that's my point. And so, and people are saying, well, it says on the back, Homeland Security or police. I could buy that off Amazon. I can buy a vest on Amazon. And then they have that little custom. You click custom and it has text box. I can put whatever I want there, police, and have the vest sent to me. And I can walk around looking like police, man. I'm the police. I'm ICE. You know what I mean? So they have to have a badge because it'll have a badge number or nameplate or something. Now, I know some people have told me, don't give your opinion, just give the news. No, this is an opinion-based. This is this YouTube channel, I give my opinion. And then we discuss it. If you're mature enough to have a discussion. Some people aren't. Some people are like, I'm unsubscribing. Bye. Bye. Because I just want people I can have a discussion with. But so what I was going to say is I'll give you this disclaimer, and I'm almost done here. I don't have a problem with if you're here in the country unlawfully, if you're, I get morally and from my heart, I get why a lot of people are here. They're just looking for a better life for their families. I get that. Some are here to commit crimes. I get it. But some are just here. They just want a better life for their families. But I get it. It's the law. If you're here illegally, my issue is twofold. One, them stopping American citizens and going, where are you from? Where were you born? Well, I was born here. Prove it. You have your papers. You have brown skin, so you could be Mexican. Show me your American, citizenship. They did that in 1938 in Germany. You will go on the train if you do not show that you are not a Jew. They did. That's first fold. Second, I have a problem with them violating people's rights and committing assault or battery and not being held accountable. Like I said, the guy walking out of line, walks up, pushes the cameraman and then walks off. Camera guy was just standing recording. He wasn't even close to him. He had to walk over to him to shove the guy. And you see the camera, see him shoving in the camera. They should be prosecuted, and they can be. These people have said on my videos, state can't do anything against federal agents. Yes, you can. If they break the law in your state, it can be, in this state, for instance, California versus whomever. Yes. Just because you're a federal agent don't mean you can break the law and go, well, I'm a federal agent. No. California versus Texas versus Florida versus, you get prosecuted for it. And if Dan, what is his name, Bognino, if he had a, testicular fortitude to step forward and start holding these guys accountable, we would see less of this. But he's a lot of this and none of this, holding them accountable. Well, we're going after citizens. We're doing this. We're doing that. Yeah, and by the way, while you're doing it, Homeland Security, the ICE agents, they're committing assaults on people. I'm not talking about people resisting or people obstructing their operations. I'm talking about they just walk up and just start beating on people. Why? Because they can. They did it in Montgomery, Alabama in 1966. Why not do it now and get away with it? But then this prosecutor, did you guys catch that though? Well, we're not going to arrest them on the street. We're going to identify them later. How the hell are you going to do that? No badge, no name, and come on. You see what she's doing, right? She's running for office as district attorney. She wants to be revoted in. I'm trying to do something, guys. No, you're not. You're blowing smoke. We'll identify him later. How the hell are you going to do that? Well, it was a guy in a checkered shirt and a jacket and jeans, and he had a vest on and a mask. Oh, yeah, there was like 50 of them out there on the street like that. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know what you think about this.